Today's topic is innocence is an experience. That's why it's interesting to even try to talk about it, because the whole point of this topic is that it can't be talked about, and it can't be understood by the logical mind. It can't be understood by the ego mind. So, it is an experience. And when I say it is an experience, what I'm saying is innocence is not really like a box that's different than guilt or different than wrongness. That is a box that we're trying to see ourselves eventually walk towards that box, and then we can feel the innocence. That is the mental understanding about innocence, that everything is fragmented and everything is a concept in a box, and we're not there yet. So it seems like an effort is needed, that we need to walk towards that little box from where we are now. But that's why I'm saying it's not something that can be grasped, because innocence is actually wholeness. So the mind that is already splitted and is already in the thinking about difference and trying to achieve something else, it can't really understand wholeness. So no matter how much we talk about innocence, the true innocence that we actually all have a yearning for, that unfortunately is not something that can be grasped through intellectual understanding or discussion. To say that everything is involuntary and the script is written, to have those words talked about is great, but if it isn't really extended through the experience of it already, if it is more like, okay, this is a concept that we hear about, and this is eventually a place in the future that hopefully we will be able to move into, then I can guarantee that whatever you're thinking that is in the future isn't it. So even to say that innocence is what we want, the thing is, it can't be really comprehended. It can only be experienced. It can only be experienced. And innocence actually has nothing to do with whether you do something right or wrong. It has nothing to do with behavior. And if it is still associated with behavior, for example, if you hear a comment like, someone is innocent because he didn't do anything wrong, then really the assumption underneath that is not spoken is something could have gone wrong if he didn't do everything right. Or there is a possibility of something might go wrong, or behavior actions can imply some kind of wrongness. And if that is where the mind is believed in, then everything else, like when a talk is given about something is innocent, and yet there is assumption that's still there, then it is really not truly about innocence, And the experience now that I feel is true is that more and more and louder people start to hear the unspoken assumption instead of what is said. So if you, for example, if you have some emotions coming up and people come here to tell you that really wanting to help, and by helping they probably want to help you not having the emotion right now, or find out what could be different so that you will not have this sadness coming up. But if that is what is unseen and what is assumed, even with the intention to help, you probably don't really feel completely good, just because the call that's so deep is the call for innocence and true innocence, the wholeness. And the call for the innocence is an innocence that has absolutely nothing to do with what is happening. So if, when there seems to be something happening, it could be an emotion coming up, very, very intense, and you're looking for help, you probably even can tell people, can you help me look at what went wrong, or what did I do that caused this, or what could I learn from this? You can say these words, but I can guarantee you the deeper desire and the real calling from your heart is, please tell me who I am. Please tell me that doesn't really matter what I did. I am okay, and I am the true innocence that cannot be affected by anything. That is the desire. And if that desire is met by someone who really see you that way, and it really doesn't matter what they say to you, then you will immediately feel this recognition and this innocence within. That's, sometimes we talk about, actually the Course also talks about true empathy, and if anything, this is the real reason for that true empathy, to hear the true calling of the heart and true calling of a mind that is confused and split. It is not really to find anything within the frame of the split mind and the separation. It's actually to completely let that collapse and to see the wholeness. So if I was joking with a friend yesterday, I said if, because there was some kind of discussion around specifics of what was said and what was done, and how the mind just want to analyze, did I do anything differently? I want to make sure that I didn't say anything wrong, or I didn't do anything wrong, so that I'm not guilty. But I said, if anyone asks a why question about any action or behavior, why did you say that, or why did you do that? You can say, why did the bird sing? There is no reason, and the bird cannot sing it wrongly. The bird is always innocent, because there is no could have, should have. It's just what it is. And whether the bird choose to land here or choose to fly and interrupt a concert, that doesn't mean anything about the bird itself, And unfortunately, we don't see, because even that is still within, perceptions and realms of separation. But even that, we don't see us as that way, because there is this wrongness that already comes as soon as the belief in separation happens. But that is just so, so hidden and so buried out of awareness. So there is something that we don't really want to always talk about something that is not an experience, isn't really so necessary, because everything will eventually be brought up to awareness when it's time to be released and to be looked at. So when I say that innocence and experience is really trying to encourage us dropping the concept and even the talk about everything is perfect and everything is innocent, and to really welcome that experience. And I know by welcoming that experience, it also means that everything that isn't in alignment with that actual experience will want to come up, because they want to be released, and because we want to release that. So the thing is, along that path to really welcome the innocence and to merge with that, the hooks that the mind is still having attachment to will come up, and it seems can be unknown or intense for the mind to handle. So what it tends to do is to use the innocence concept and to push it aside, to say that, for example, if I said something, if I want to give myself permission to speak up when I don't feel good, I want to give myself the permission to speak up. But as soon as I speak up, someone will have a reaction. And that, if that happens, there are two seeming ways to deal with it. One is I will be immediately looking at what is arising, because I might feel hurt or attacked. And this immediate reaction wants to defend, protect something, justify myself, or maybe there's anger because I felt I did something wrong. I felt guilty. So whatever that may be, there are like thoughts attached to the feeling as well, but just to be able to embrace that feeling and just know that something is coming up to be seen and to be released, and all that we can do is to allow it and let it come and let it go, let it move through, and actually not to keep talking about it every day to say there is some problem I need to fix, but just know it's coming up and it's to be moved through. But another possible way to deal with this reaction is to tell the people, you shouldn't have said this because everything is perfect. The script is written, I had to say that. And not realizing now I am pointing the finger out to the person to say, actually, I would prefer you didn't say that, you shouldn't have said that, by you're witnessing a mistake. But it's actually, you can see that using that to cover up something isn't really helpful. So I guess in the previous episode, I did talk about with David how the unconscious mind is the unwatched mind. And I have to say, if we're talking even about there's anything for us to do, is to watch. And in that watching and watchfulness, everything will be revealed. Because what I just noticed, when it seems there are certain scenarios that comes up every day in our center, and it's just really beautiful because there are a lot of opportunity to watch, but I trust that the opportunity to watch our mind is really everywhere. But when things comes up, just lately, I guess innocence and feeling this wrongness is really up in the awareness in our center, and just feeling extremely grateful to be able to see what's going on, to be able to watch, and also like for everybody to be able to talk whatever thoughts that they felt is still true to them, but it's not like a personal thought. It's more like just when the allowance is given, when the desire is there to really experience innocence, then everything comes up. And by everybody, of course, being very transparent, I can just see so easily the direction of the thinking. And it's really not about specifics, but the direction is so interesting and obvious. The direction is either, if, for example, if a scenario happened and then an emotion rise up, then the first thing is the mind wants to conclude, I feel wrong. That's what the feeling is about. And so after concluding this is what I'm feeling, then let's find out what went wrong, inform. So first of all, I name this feeling, and second it's all about something happened here. So let's find out, and the mind will go not really different in essence, because it's always going to try to find what's wrong, but in different specifics. So it's not really easy to see that they're actually doing the same thing time and time again. It either says, maybe this person is wrong, and if this person is proven to be innocent, then maybe the other person is wrong. If all the people are proven innocent, it could be some of the aspect of the scenario is wrong. If we couldn't find anything that went wrong, then at least we could see that in the future we'll do it differently, but still the assumption is something went wrong. It's just so interesting for me to see that the broadness of the discussion, and yet the one assumption that is underneath them all. And it's very, very subtle, it's very, very sneaky, and it could be, all the innocence words were used, and how there couldn't be any mistake, how we're all innocent can be talked about, and there is this assumption that's still held. That's why it's so important even just to hear the thoughts. Then we can see the direction. Then we know we don't have to pretend. We don't have to pretend we already all feel innocent. Let's just see, okay, there is an assumption that has still is underneath all these thinkings, and just even be able to see that. And that's it. And that's why it comes back to our topic, it is an experience, because truth cannot be experienced by talking about it. It cannot be experienced by just run towards it, because there are just obstacles that's coming up. And everything that we can talk about, everything we can perceive, they're all obstacles to truth. And it's the same as innocence. You can equate these two words, you can't really experience innocence by only talking about it or thinking about it. But just walking through that, everything that comes up, and not hiding and avoiding it, that is experiencing the innocence already. That is the experience of it. Because in the end, the realization will come, okay, that is just so obvious.